Scared my producer there. Oh, by the way, sorry about that. Stan the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent, here with you again. Big time topic today, pension versus lump sum. Which is better? Good question, and I'm going to answer it after this really neat music video when I do this overhand thing like right now. Pensions versus lump sum, pension annuity. So here's the story. Okay, guy calls me the other day. He's getting big company. They actually had a pension offer, which is, side note, less than 10% of private companies have pensions now. Most of the stuff they're offering is 401k, which are kind of defined contribution growth plans, and eventually you're going to turn it into income down the road. Some of those 401ks are starting to offer annuities, but I digress. This person had a pension offer. So that, in other words, they said, okay, Fred, we're going to give you X amount lump sum, or we're going to give you an annuity, a single premium, immediate annuity type payout for either you or you and your spouse's life. Typically, they give you choices. So the question is, should I take the lump sum? I always get this question. His question was this: should I take the lump sum, or should I take the annuity payment from that company? Good question. So come back to everything I always do with clients. What are the two questions you have to answer? What do you want the money to contractually do? And when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? Well, Fred said, yeah, we kind of need the income, right? I'm like, good, great, that's perfect. What are they offering? So he gave me the quote. I said, email me the quote that they gave you or whatever, just the number, and exactly how they structured it, whether it was life only, joint life only, joint life with a period certain, whatever those are. And he had some questions about, which one's better, and we went through all of that, which I can do at theannuityman.com. And so we decided, okay, joint life in 20, that number that they gave, that company gave, was, that's what he thought was best for him and his wife. I said, great, well, send me that. So he sent me that, and then I took that quote and I ran a quote with every single carrier on the planet, because I represent pretty much all of them, to find out if this street, in essence, could beat the number offered by the company. In essence, that's what I'm supposed to do, right? I mean, let's shop it. Here's the interesting part, and he was surprised by this. The company had the highest quote, which kind of blew him away. He's like, well, how's that even possible? How did their quote beat all the other companies? It's because the company doesn't want to give up the lump sum. So they priced that annuity payment competitively so that you can choose the highest contractual guarantee and keep your money with them. What I find, and I'm America's Annuity Agent, so I know about 80% or more of the time when a company offers an annuity type payout, it's going to be higher than if you quoted it on the street. That's why you use me. That's why you call me. That's why we're here. Yes, we do sell annuities, but when the company offers a higher payment, I'm going to say, hey, choose that company unless you feel like there's some claims paying ability issues with that company. I won't know that. You'll know that because you work for them. Now, a similar situation happened the reverse. Guy called me. He said, hey, this is what they're offering. Okay. We ran the quote, and the street, there was an actual carrier that beat what the company was offering. So it made sense to take the lump sum and then buy the annuity on the outside instead of taking the annuity from the company. I know that's a lot. I know I just went, la, 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 la. I know that. But here's what you need to remember. When you have a pension offer or an annuity type offer or a lump sum offer from your company, first of all, you have to understand and make a decision on what's best for you and your spouse, you and your partner. You have to say, okay, what do we want that money to do? Once you determine that, then contact me and I'll run comparison quotes, apples to apples, to make sure that you're going to lock in the highest contractual guaranteed number. Makes sense, right? Nod your head. I'm going to be back with more after I get a little bit of water. Let's talk about this pension thing. You're getting this offer from the company. If you take the pension annuity from them, great. If you transfer that lump sum to an outside company because it provides a higher contractual guarantee, fantastic. You're looking for the highest contractual guarantee because why? You own an annuity for what it will do, not what it might do. And the will do is the contractual guarantees. The might do is the hypotheticals and the theoreticals and the projections and the back-tested numbers that you see at the bad chicken dinner or steak dinner seminar, right? The other thing is be very careful out there, because once you tell an advisor and an agent that you have a choice to get a lump sum, it's like sharks. Dun 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 to get your money, right? Just block all that out. Realize that it's your money, you worked hard for it, and you have to make a decision on what you want it to do, whether you want it to provide income or whether you want to just take the lump sum and move it somewhere else. Understand that when you do that, if you decide to take the lump sum and move it somewhere else, that's a non-taxable event. You're not going to trigger any taxes. You're just going to move it from your qualified account at the company to an IRA that you establish, at Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, E-Trade, or if an annuity makes sense, the Annuity Man, whatever carrier that has the highest contractual guarantee with us. So what I would tell you is be very careful just with your decision. There's no urgency, even though there might be a time frame on when you have to make that decision, but always remember, what do you want the money to contractually do, and when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? And based on those answers, then you'll make a very good decision on whether you need an annuity from the outside, whether you need an annuity from the internal offer from the company, or whether you just want to take that lump sum and go invest it. So with that, you need to be very careful as you make this decision. Okay, so I do all these annuities, right? I do one per day, Monday through Friday for infinity. I know you're saying, that's crazy. Of course it's crazy. I'm an edutainer. I'm the #1 agent in the country, America's Annuity Agent. I did one, I think it's over this shoulder point, right? How to choose an annuity. And that is a way to determine, okay, you might need an annuity, what type? There's not just one type of annuity. There's many types, they do different things, they all have different limitations and benefits, and so you need to understand that. So go watch that video, along with all the others. In fact, I write an article every day, I write a blog every day. If you go to my site at theannuityman.com, you'll hear a podcast that I released every week called The Annuity Man Podcast. Not some crazy self-promotion here, but what I'm trying to say is, don't make an uninformed decision. Understand that these are contracts. Annuities are contracts, and the pension offer that you're getting from your company, that lifetime income stream, that's a contract. That's a contract between you and that company for them to pay you for the rest of your life, or you and your spouse or partner for the rest of your life. So this is very, very, very important. You need to go slow. So with that, I would advise you to go to my site again to get the best quotes on our proprietary annuity calculators that are unbelievable. We can quote all carriers at the same time and find out the best contractual guarantee for you. So use our annuity calculators, and go to my site to get my books. I've written a ton of them. You can buy them at Amazon to make my wife happy, or you can go to the site and get them for free. Your call. Either way, you're going to get the books, and that makes sense. So with that, I hope to see you on the next video. And before you go away, hit the subscribe button.